The protests and rioting following the death of George Floyd have prompted changes at the Grand Rapids Police Department. One new policy is already in effect, but some protesters feel their voices still have not been heard. 13 on Your Side's Nate Belt looks at the future of Grand Rapids policing.
Zero tolerance is the standard for any actions that are disrespectful to our community members.
That's the message Grand Rapids City Manager Mark Washington wanted to drive home Wednesday afternoon. Washington, GRPD Chief Eric Payne, and Officer of Oversight and Public Accountability Director Brandon Davis each spoke about some of the upcoming changes.
I recognize that my responsibility of increasing transparency and accountability is essential in making sure that we move forward.
Some of the announced changes include the banning of chokeholds by officers, which Chief Payne says has never been trained, but was also not explicitly stated in the policy. Officers will also be banned from firing weapons at moving cars and must issue verbal warnings before using deadly force.
We should be able to accomplish a lot of this in the next 60 days. But it's not a one and done. We have to be diligent, make sure we're continuing listening to the community.
But at least one group still feels the chief isn't listening to them. Because he was called to City Hall last minute, the chief never arrived at a scheduled meeting with a few peaceful protesters.
It's just really disappointing because we worked really hard on this. It's a lot to do within 1 week.
The group says they sat with two deputy chiefs for about 30 minutes after the scheduled start of their meeting before leaving when the chief was still at City Hall.
We're disappointed. We're still going to meet with him, but we need him to follow through with his end of the bargain because we followed our steps of command. Exactly. We reached out to the secretary. We formulated a time frame that 2 hours, and for the first almost hour, you're not even going to meet with us.
Sergeant Dan Adams with GRPD says that the protesters were advised that the chief would be back after the meeting over at City Hall. He also says that the two deputy chiefs were selected to talk with the protesters in the chief's place. In Grand Rapids, Nate Belt, 13 on Your Side.